Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As you can see, we have stained staircase, but I made a boo-boo, and pretty decent one too. So in the time lapse that you just saw, it was me cutting a new set of stringers with a jig, which I will leave the link up there somewhere, for how to make this jig. I messed up because I thought everything was good until one day I was walking down the stairs and I noticed that I had to walk sideways. And that's because my tread was only 8 1/4 inches, which was smaller than what I had originally. So instead of trying to fix this and cutting out way too much of the stringer and losing its strength, I decided I'd just kind of pull another set of stringers. So in that aspect, I called upon my buddy, which is a pretty good framer, all-around carpenter, and asked him his advice because, like I said, it's my first set of open, so I wanted to get it right. So I had to cut the treads in first. Next, I'm going to be fitting them in. I haven't fit them in yet. Right now they're just pretty much full length. I got about an inch per, oh no, I cut the ears on a 1. So I cut that, I got skill bites, sorry. Yeah, so I messed up on this one. Messed up pretty decent. But at least I still had a functioning staircase. It's all stained, and it's roughly the same color that I stained my door with. So that's the door. And I roughly duplicated the stain on the door. And on top of that, as I was staining, or just before I started staining, I noticed that some of the stairs were moving. So in the knot areas, and I'm sitting on it, yes I am. So in the knot areas, it was starting to move a little bit. So I had to bow tie, and I believe, yeah, I have a video for that one too. I bow tied my staircase. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I believe there's like 8 bow ties I had to put in the stairs because they were moving too much. Since I put them in, and that was roughly about a month ago I put them in, I haven't moved. They've been mint. And they don't look that gaudy. Like, they don't stick out. I made it out of the same wood that I already had. Same colors, try to keep the same tread or same grain direction. It didn't work because some of it was a swirl because it was in a knot. But I tried as much as I could. Oh yeah. So this staircase is not going to be as steep. On this redesign with 9 3/4 tread, which is awesome. 9 3/4 tread, I had to push the staircase a little less steep. So it is pushing forward, hold on. So in the last, I am pushing this staircase about a foot forward. So that way it's less steep, number one, which might suck for the ceiling, but I'll deal with that. I can play with that if I really had to. But it gives me a bigger tread, gives me a higher rise. So the rise is now, instead of 7 3/16, it's 7 5/8, which is perfect. I just lose a little bit of real estate on my tile, which is not really that big of a deal. And then the other thing I'm doing is once I get this stringer in, or fit at least, I'm going to take a marker or a pencil, I'm going to scribe up this, cut all this drywall out, so that way this stringer sits inside, and the drywall sits on top of the stringer so I can finish it easier. So whether I do a cove or a quarter round or whatever I decide, I don't have to put these gigantic moldings on this. And I'm still undecided on railing. So I'm still putting a big ass door in behind, as high as I can go. I am putting a stringer in the middle. So one of these is going to go in the middle for support. And I'm going to fit that in, and then I'm going to put the door in. So I'm going to accommodate from there. Hopefully I can do it without any major issues. So yeah, that's my muff up. It's decently. I was trying to figure out how I could fix this without wasting it. It's not going to happen. So these 2x12s will eventually become my Japanese joinery scrap wood stuff sort of deal. So I'm going to pull this apart. I'm going to get my stringer on the wall. I'm going to get it fit, which means I might have to chip some tile for this one. For this one I'm just going to stick it on top of the tile. And that's it. And I'm going to start going from there. The other difference I did, instead of cutting this to size, I made some wedges. So in the jig you will see, or when I cut, you'll see that one side is pretty flat and the other side's got a little taper on it. That's for wedges to go in. So when I assemble this, and this is going to be a pain in the ass to assemble because I don't have a lot of footage to play with here, I'm going to have to glue it in. So get some PL. I'm going to drill some holes through the side for nails so I can nail these suckers in and then wedge it. Well, I'll wedge it first, then nail it. But that's the way it's going to get assembled. And on top of that, all this is going to get painted before I put it in. So that way I don't have to mess around with taping around stringer or the treads and hoping paint doesn't get on them. And so I'll show you a quick little thing of how these bow ties turned out. There's one of them right there. There's one bow tie. There's the other one. I put one on the end here. You can hardly see this one. It's faint right there, a little bit. Hardly see it. There's one underneath. And this one. Right there. You can see this one a little bit more. But it's not gaudy. It's not stupid. And the wood has not moved since. So I like it. I think it turned out very well. I think it turned out very well as far as bow ties. So, and then you gotta remember that all this is dunnage. It's stuff that people just throw away, and I made stair treads out of it. So I think it's pretty remarkable, and they turned out pretty damn good. So this is where it sits right now, and I will talk to you when it's fully in. So this is where the staircase looks like, or where it sits right now. So this is the new one. I see it's white. It's got the treads all in. It's all glued. I even have some posts. Look around here so you don't have to look at me. So we got 1, 2, and then 3 posts. What I did with the post, if I can get this one out, it might be a little tricky. Ooh, geez, almost popped me. So what I did with the post is make a little tenon, and it's going in the mortise. That goes down pretty far. And what I'm going to end up doing is probably putting some pins or some dowels, one there, so we're better from popping up. So there's that. This isn't the actual railing. This is the strongholds. Well, not strongholds. What would you call them? So this is what the railing is going to be connected to. My top rail. My bottom rail is just going to be a plate. I finally decided on what I want to do with this. So there's going to be a plate sitting on this, and I'm going to router some of it, and I'm going to drill some holes in the middle of it. Or actually 2 on each one. So each tread gets 2 balusters, except for this one. This one only gets 1 because it's where this lands. The balusters itself are going to be wrought iron. As far as what the shape is going to be, I'm not sure yet. You see I've already put a double in there for added strength, and I wanted a decent sized rail. Whether this sits in the middle or not is not sure yet. It might. Reason why I offset this one opposed to these ones, you can see these ones are pretty much the same width as the 2 2x12s, is because I don't want the actual post going right to the floor. I want it to stop here. So this 3/4 sheet thing is going to stop here, and then there's going to be another one going on the other side going to the tread, and it's going to be the same thing. I'm just building some boxes around this, and when I do this, I'm going to attach the top rail first. Top rail is going to get attached first, and then I'm going to fit the post through the top rail. So I'm going to put it, take it off, put the front plate on for the box, and then fit the plate right through it. That's how I'm going to set that up. As far as the top plate, I'm not sure what we're going to do. As far as what's the design of the top, I'm not sure yet. Just kind of wing this, but as you can see, it's inset into the wall all the way up. The top, so it's gonna be the same thing. This is gonna sit right here. You're gonna have a box built around this. It's gonna go down to this tread. This flooring is coming out. I'm gonna put some beefy 3/4 inch plywood down. The final tread, I'm not sure exactly. This is gonna end up getting cut out because this is a big tripping hazard and nobody wants that. So this tread, I'm not sure how I'm gonna incorporate it yet, but that's gonna get incorporated. We have a door, and a tall door, 78 inches to be exact. It might go a little bit lower just depending on how big a tile I get. But a door is framed. It's all drywalled. Oop. Like that. It has to get painted. This is going to get white. And this is what the underside looks like. So all these 2x12 or all these 2x4s are actually all the 2x12 that I cut out when I messed up. So as you can see, this is all just plywood, screwed and glued and wedged. So got a wedge there, I got a wedge for the tread, you can see some excess glue. The stair is anchored to the wall, and then I even put, for the first 3 treads, I put a brace in here. just for the first 3 treads, just to give it a little, because that's the treads that get the most beating. So this is the wall. It's all drywall, rewired, doors in. That's pretty much where it's gotta finish the drywall. So all this drywall's gotta get finished, and then the door's gonna get painted, and then I gotta make trim for the door, which is gonna be the same trim as this. So this is the old style trim, and I kinda like it. I figure I might as well keep some of the old style of this house. So this is all the stuff I made. And once you have the tooling for it, it's not a big deal to make it. So I'm gonna end up doing that. Let's see what else. I did all the tile. So there's a few pieces I had to replace because of where the old staircase was and where the new one was gonna be. And then in this area, I even had a couple where as I was busting, I ended up breaking a couple more tiles, so I had to replace those ones on top of it. But I had some cracks from the house and moving and stuff like that, so I filled those in and fixed that. So this whole hallway is going to get repainted. I'm going to repaint the stairs again, and then I'm going to work on the railing. So first thing I'm going to do now, I have to get the top newel post in. So I have to glue it, clamp it. I have to fit it better. So there's a little bit more fitting I have to do to it. And what else? What else is there? What else is there? Yeah. Just sand, paint, finish the railing. That's pretty much it. So this is where the video ends for this part. The last part's probably going to be a final, where I show you everything. I show you the final product of everything. So that's pretty much where it's gonna sit. It's been a long project. It's been a long time coming. I'm glad I did it. It's a lot of work, and let's see, it all paid off. So questions, comments, leave them down in the bottom. Subscribe. Any, what was I gonna say? I don't know. So that's pretty much it where this sits, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.